cause this one who trusts in me to begin to distrust me. Whosoever put a stumbling block in his way. So the child came from where he was and came to Jesus. Whosoever would have put something in his path to hinder him. Whosoever would have, as he was on his way, even if it was his parents, stopped him. Whosoever would cause this little one to judge as unfavorable or unjustly me. Whosoever will cause this little child to judge me unjustly or unfavorably. Whosoever shall cause this one to stumble and become annoyed with me. Whosoever will hinder him. Whosoever will cause him to be indignant or displeased at me. Whosoever will cause him to fall away or out of agreement with me. Then he says, woe to the world because of offenses. Here, offenses. Again, it comes from scandal. Scandals must come. An occasion to fall must come. Stumbling blocks must come. Things placed in the way must come. Now we have to look at it too. There is always a proving of the genuineness of our faith. Okay? So when our faith is tested, it is not to cause us to fall. That is a temptation. But our faith is proven in adversity, in opposition. It's proven genuine. That is the intent of the Lord. Okay? So these offenses must come. Now the enemy uses offenses to draw us away from God, to tempt us. A man is tempted, right? He's enticed, he's drawn away of his own lust, drawn away from the path that he's on. All right, the path of righteousness. Woe unto the world because these offenses, but woe to the man by whom the offenses come. If your hand, now this is in you. This is not on the outside. So now the first part is a disciple, a little one who's humble himself. They have been called to the Lord. Come, and you try to get them to pull away from me, to find displeasure in me, to make distrust me. That's one offense. Wherefore, if thy hand, your hand, offends you. So now, this is what is in you that will cause you to distrust. If thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cause you to distrust me, cause you to become displeased with me, cut it off. If your eye, verse 9, causes you to become displeased with me, distrust me, turn away from me, plug it out. Take heed, then he goes. So that's the second. So that's someone causing someone, a little one, a disciple, to turn. What's in you that will cause you to be offended, to stumble, to become displeased, annoyed. Okay? Then he says, take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, or you think little of them. For I say that their angels are in heaven, and they always behold the face of my Father, which is in heaven. For the Son of Man, and this is the one that people will rush to, the Son of Man is come to save that which is lost. How think ye if your man have 100 sheep. So God is going, okay, if a man have 100 sheep, so this is God, right? This man has 100 sheep. He'll go and get the one. This is God now going, sending, going after the one who has wandered off the path. Okay. He's wandered off. Isn't that interesting? The third one is one who wanders off the path. God goes and get him. Ain't that something? If so be that he find it, verily I say unto you that he rejoice more of that sheep than of the 99 which didn't go astray. Okay? All right. Even so, it is not the will of your Father which is in heaven that one of these perish. It's not God's will. Now, he's continuing talking about offense and things put in the path to cause you to stumble or to wander or to go astray. Moreover, if your brother, now, why am I going through all that? Because we would jump to the one who's wandered away or who's not in the will of the Lord, and let's go out and we're God and compel them to come back, and we'll say that, right? And we'll provoke, exhort people to do this. This is the will of the Lord. But so is the rest. So is this one that I'm about to read. Moreover, if your brother trespass against you. Now, what does that mean? If your brother causes you, it says trespass. Let me go to it, because we be coming with our own interpretation of stuff. If your brother trespass against you, if your brother causes you to miss the mark, if your brother causes you to wander from the path of righteousness, if your brother causes you to wander away from the law of God, or if he violates God's law concerning you. Now, they were under the old covenant still, right? Okay, so some people are like, but this does, okay, we're under the law of love. Love the Lord your God with all your heart. Jesus came to reveal the intent of the Lord concerning the law. So we can't be using, sometimes we be using that like we don't have to do this or that. That's different, because excusing and justifying ourselves. Excusing ourselves from responding to a hard saying. So, if your brother violates, oversteps, missed the mark of God's law concerning you, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your strength, all your mind, all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. It says, go and tell him his fault. Not go and say, if I've done anything. Didn't say that. Tell him his fault. I mean, it takes two people, and both people have some. That's not what the Lord said. See, we're like the leaders of that day, whether it be the scribes or the Pharisees, tacking things on to God's command to either alleviate the pressure of or even alleviate a need to obey or respond to it, or to get somebody out of doing it so we can benefit from their disobedience. This is what they were doing. So when Jesus said, it is your tradition that makes the word of God of none effect. For the word of God has said, honor your mother and father. But you said that whatever you would have done concerning your mother and father, you say it is Corinth, or you vowed it to the Lord. So now it excuses you from the law of God. It excuses you from honoring your mother and father. This says, go and tell him his fault. Go and call to account. Demand an explanation of his trespass. His going against the law of God concerning you. So you are not necessarily the one that you're focused on who have been done wrong. It is the fact that they have missed the mark of God concerning you. So the focus is they're missing the mark, not what you done did to me. The focus is they have gone contrary to the word of God, the will of God concerning you. So God is the focus. So you want to hold them accountable to the word of God. They're a disciple after all. They're a follower of the word of God, the living word. After all, they're ones being led by the Spirit of God. After all, Jesus said, go. That's a command to go. Just like it's a command to go and win the lost, go and to share the gospel. And we emphasize we need to go and do this, and we don't have a right not to do it. We don't have a right not to go to our brother and hold him or her accountable to the word of God. What we say is, I'm good. I ain't mad. It doesn't say that. If they have gone contrary to the word of God, if they've missed the mark, God's law concerning you, go. Didn't say if you mad, go. If you ain't mad, then you ain't gotta go. It didn't say if they mad, they should that you go. Those stipulations that we put in, well, I'm not mad, so I'm good, I just let it go. No, the Lord told you to go. He didn't say let it go. He said you go. He didn't say let it go. He said you go. He didn't say let it go. He said you go. But our pride keeps us from responding to the word of God. Now we are not obeying God. Now we have become offended at what God is telling us to do, because we're not trusting that his way is right. Go. Demand an explanation. That's what it says. Tell him his fault. Just between y'all two. Just between y'all. We mess up there. We go tell other people. We want to hear what they think about it first. And then, okay, I got people backing me, so I know I'm right, so I'm going. It's not about you being right. Did they trespass the law of God, which is the law of love, concerning you? Did they go beyond what God told them concerning you? If they did, the word of God, the written word, if they did, the good you do, him that know the good to do and don't do it, sin. Him that know the good to do and don't do it, sin. So they did what they did. They trespassed against the law of God concerning you. And you know the good to do, which is to go and say something to them, but you won't do it. So you know the good to do, but you won't do it. That's sin. How is it we're going to go and win the loss, but we can't go to our brother to win him back to the Lord? He's not a backslider, but he has trespassed the law of God concerning you. That's what it says. But you're afraid to go to them because of your pride. But you're going to go to somebody who don't even want to honor the word of God, who could care less. in the state that they're in. Some. That's interesting.